I'm keeping things simple with 4 ingredient meals. Groceries are expensive, so by using only 4 ingredients to make up a meal, it will help us cut our budgets and get dinner on the table fast. And don't worry, if you follow Weight Watchers, I will be including the points. The first meal that I'm putting together is a honey glazed chicken. Let me show you the simple ingredients first. I am using 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I have diced those. You can use thighs or whatever you want to with this recipe. I also have some honey, crushed red pepper, and soy sauce. In a bowl, I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of honey, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and an 1/8 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I'm sure you can leave this out if you want to, but it's not gonna give much heat because it's only an 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm gonna give this a mix, set it aside, and me and you, we are headed to the stove. This is a very quick cooking meal. So I am browning up my chicken really quickly. You can add 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil to this. That helps brown up the chicken too. After the chicken has browned, you just pour the sauce over it, let it cook together and thicken up a little bit, and you got dinner. I made some rice for the chicken to go on top. For a 1/2 cup, it's 3 points on Weight Watchers. The chicken is 6 points. All of the nutrition facts are linked with the recipe. This is a smoked mozzarella chicken. I cannot find smoked mozzarella. I'm gonna substitute it with some provolone instead. The ingredients for this meal, I have sliced provolone instead of smoked mozzarella. If I need to, I will just adjust the points. I have some chicken and onion powder and oregano. I have my chicken breast in a frying pan. I'm not using the oil that the recipe calls for. If you want to, you can. The only thing that's gonna be points for me on Weight Watchers is the cheese. So that's the only thing I'm gonna count. Everything else is seasonings. And in the recipe, it's all measured out. I'm not gonna measure out the seasonings. I mean, I'm just gonna sprinkle it on both sides and call it good. Get some salt on there, a little bit of onion powder. I mean, it says like, I think a teaspoon of onion powder. I think 2 teaspoons of oregano. All the measurements and the nutrition facts are in the description of this video with the recipe. This is the oregano. I think just the seasoning on this chicken is gonna make it really super good. I'm gonna put a cover on here and I'm gonna let that cook up for a little bit. For one of my sides, I am going to use stovetop stuffing. I have just the savory herb. Through my Weight Watcher app, it says for 1 serving is 3 points. 1 serving on the box is a 1/2 cup. And I'm going to throw some corn in the microwave. This is my husband's, one of his favorite vegetables, so I know he'll be pretty happy to see that I'm making him some corn. I went ahead and flipped the chicken over, seasoned up the other side. I added just a little bit of water to the pan just to get it steaming so the chicken cooks through. I checked my chicken with the thermometer and the temperature is right. So now I'm gonna take a piece of cheese, I'm gonna put it over the top of each piece of chicken, and I'm gonna put the cover back on my pan and let it melt, and dinner will be ready. This one is called Quickie Chickie. Not only is it very quick to put together, it is also full of flavor. The 4 ingredients for this meal is chicken, some balsamic, honey, and you can use fresh basil, but I have dried. In my frying pan, I have my chicken in a little bit of olive oil with some salt and pepper. The recipe says to use chicken tenderloins. You can use any kind of chicken you want. Thighs, chicken breasts, whatever you have on hand. I'm gonna let that cook through for a little bit before we make the sauce. I did salt and pepper the other side of the chicken too, but it's pretty much cooked through. So I'm gonna start adding all the yummy seasonings to it. So you're gonna take 2 tablespoons of, it says fresh basil, I'm using dried. And then 1.5 teaspoons of balsamic, but it says that you can use more if you want to. Next, 1.5 teaspoons of honey. Just all natural sugar. I'm gonna nestle the chicken into the honey and balsamic, let it cook up with the basil. Oh, this smells so good. I think this is gonna be definitely a keeper. If you're following Weight Watchers, this one is a low point meal. For 3 ounces of chicken, it is only 4 points. So you could easily have this with mashed potatoes, rice, salad, any kind of vegetable. I love pesto chicken. This one takes it over the top with a crunchy coating. This one is crunchy baked pesto chicken. The 4 ingredients for this recipe is panko, basil pesto, some Parmesan cheese, and chicken. The recipe calls for chicken thighs. I'm using chicken breasts. In a bowl, I am going to mix together a half a cup of the panko, half a cup of Parmesan cheese, 4 teaspoons of pepper, and a 4 teaspoons of salt. A half a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm gonna mix this all together and set it aside. So I am putting the pesto on each one of the chicken breasts. There's measurements to the pesto. I believe it's 3 tablespoons. I'm gonna flip this over. And I put the pesto over the side of the chicken too. Now I'm going to take the panko breadcrumb mixture. I'm going to put that over each of the chicken breasts. I have my oven preheated to 450 and I'm going to cook these for 20 minutes or until a meat thermometer reaches the right temperature. Fresh out of the oven. Oh, it smells absolutely delicious. And for one of the chickens, it is 11 points. Because the chicken is a little higher in points, I am going to have a bowl of salad with it with some fat-free Italian dressing, which is 0 points. Because these meals only use 4 ingredients, that makes it so much easier for us to be able to figure out our calories or our points if you're following Weight Watchers. All of the recipes are linked below. Looking for more simple recipes? Here are 2 more videos with 3 ingredient meals. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you soon.